Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first video for the Rift's Lone Star World Book number 13. And I got to tell you right now, out of the three Western books, Lone Star, New West, and Spirit West, Lone Star is pretty much hands down the best overall book. I'm going to tell you why right after this.
We believe that role-playing games should take place in fantastic worlds. The focus of the game should be on role-playing and having a good time. The core values of #RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity. The charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project, a national, nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Please refer to the description below for the link to where you can make your hopefully tax-deductible donation. Join us Thursday and Saturday evenings on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth to watch Heathen Dog and his team of dirty casuals play multiplayer games for your mockery and enjoyment. Here on our YouTube channel, you can watch these game-related segments live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, or check out the Friday night show stream where our panel of guests opine, comment, and editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. Please like this video and leave a comment to appease the algorithm gods. Share this video on your favorite social media platforms to help us peer out of the shadows cast over us. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe to Legion of Myth for more tabletop RPG goodness.
Okay. Rift's Lone Star, what is it? Well, in a nutshell, it is the coalition states unearthing one of the greatest finds in the last 300 plus years, which is the Lone Star Complex. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but first, this book is about the entire area of very northern Texas. A lot of the places in Texas, in northern Texas, did not fare so badly in the Cataclysm. You're far away from water. It's not tectonically active. I mean, you still had some bad stuff happen. There are no volcanoes there. So a lot of the infrastructure stayed. And so a lot of the humans who survived the initial Earth's rumbly bumblies got to live. And so there are people there, frontiersmen, really. So let's check that out right now. We're going to go to page 12 first, so I can give you some good background info. This is the northern quadrant, and that it is, there should be a map here, right here. Pretty much that, right there. That's the area we're talking about. That's actually what the CS controls. They claim all of that.
Well, they claim the world. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they claim that, but there's no protecting that. It's this. All right, that's what they actually control. But maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Start here. The northern quadrant of the coalition state of Lone Star covers the high plains of northern Texas. It is a long, tabletop flat, featureless expanse of grass broken by patches of dust. Mile after mile, the flatlands look the same and never changing. Only the occasional CS outpost or city rises on the horizon. Now, it talks about the area. The area is good for two things. One, grazing cattle, horses, stuff like that. That's what it's good for. Two, the Lone Star military complex, which I read this entire introduction twice. It doesn't say why the CS was there. It is difficult to just say, oh, well, the emperor is right here, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm in Chicago.
And I'm going to go all the way over here just for shits and giggles. No, you're not. Somewhere in the NEMA annals or archives, whatever, they found the location of the Lone Star military complex, and the God Emperor of Humanity, Prosek, sent a whole bunch of troops to go find it. Why? Because it's going to be awesome, and they were not wrong.
Send your hate comments to Heathen Dog.
There you go. So that's basically it. And ancient ruins. Thousands of cities and towns across the continent were obliterated. because of, they were on mountains or near volcanoes or lo and behold, near the coastline, which is where 80% of people in the world live. And during the cataclysm, the coastline was the worst place to be because everyone got to see what a tsunami really looked like up close. And it's the last thing they saw. However, many of the small cities and towns in central United States and Canada survived the Great Cataclysm with comparatively little physical damage. Like I said, the middle of the United States and a lot of places in Canada are and tectonically inactive. They don't have any magma pools underneath, outside of Yellowstone, stuff like that. So if you're in the central east portion of US, you're pretty tectonically stable. There's no tsunami that's going to reach you. You made it through the cataclysm. Good job. And then there were the plagues and the winter and all that stuff, which you may not have made it through, but you had a leg up than everybody else. It talks about the old highways and because the cities were relatively unscathed, there were survivors who would gather in cities, but 90% of the cities failed anyway. Even if they were relatively undamaged, they failed because of plague. They failed because they were not self-sufficient. They failed because they took in too many refugees and then collapsed. That happens. If you're a Democrat, you say, no, it's just going to make our better. No, it's sometimes you just don't have enough for everybody and your whole society collapse. It happens. But some of them actually survived. And these are the denizens of the northern territories of Texas. And the CS came in and said, hey guys, you're part of the coalition of humanity now. Good job. They were like, all right. They didn't care. They didn't care at all. As long as you don't take their land or take their sheep or take their
jobs,
take their jobs, then they don't care, dude. And guess what? The CS doesn't care about anything but the Lone Star military complex. And that doesn't affect anyone. Why? Let's find out. This is the Lone Star complex right here.
What city is that in modern day Texas? Do you know? Is that Amarillo?
I think so. I think.
No, Amarillo. So. No, Amarillo's north, but that's fine. It's not that big of a deal.
Amarillo's right here. Yeah, Amarillo's right here. But no, it'll say when we get there.
Waco,
Lone Star City, suck it. Lone Star Complex. Here we go. Oh wait, Lone Star City is right next to it. Sprung up around the Lone Star Complex. Oh no, it wasn't there before. Okay, Lone Star Complex. The Lone Star Complex was discovered in 68 PA by a geological survey team using sound echoes to search for oil. Oh, here it is. And natural gas deposits. Okay. The God Emperor sent his people down to look for resources.
Black gold, Texas tea.
Black gold, some Texas tea. That's right. And instead, they found this giant underground complex. And when I say giant, 30 square miles of underground complex.
Is that bigger than Archie?
Yes.
Okay.
Substantially. And we're going to see what they did there.
30 square miles. Wow.
Followed standard procedures and sent a full armored company inside. And what they find inside? Everything. The place was 99% done. It had manufacturing facilities that were pristine and had Samus variants already programmed into the computers. It had genetics laboratories. It had barracks. It had research station. It had scientific analysis. It had libraries. It had history of the damn country in it. Encyclopedia Britannica on steroids. Had it. This was a treasure trove of the past. And what did the God Emperor do with it? He rightly kept it from everyone else. Why? Because they'll just hurt themselves. They're not smart enough. They're not good enough. Follow the leader. Okay? That's the only way to live as a human in Rifts. Remember that. And because of this find is the reason you have dog boys, because the genetics lab was state of the art. It was a 99% functional right when the cataclysm fell. And you know what happened to this complex during the cataclysm? Guess.
Nothing?
Nothing. Good guess. Absolutely nothing. Beautifully pristine. They found 3 bodies in here. Apparently, everyone was rifted away or they all left for some reason, but 3 people stayed.
Those
They
are the
found
3 people who got fired the day before who came back to go postal and couldn't do it and took themselves out.
Maybe so, but they've been long dead, obviously. You know, it's been 300 years. So they've been long dead. They were military men. They had US military uniforms on. This was a US military complex, but they were the only bodies found. No one's sure what happened to everyone else, but whatever happened, no one locked the computers. Everything was shut down. So the power systems were pristine. The nuclear fuel was preserved.
Sure, they didn't know rifts were coming. Maybe like, hey, something weird's going on.
Maybe they did. Someone did. I don't know. But this place was a perfectly pristine turnkey operation. It was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely wonderful. But here comes the awesome thing. Here comes the dog boys. I'm going to show you the genetic engineering labs. Coalition states genetically engineered dog boys, also known as dog packs or psihounds, are as recognized and notorious as the Death's Head armor and Skelelots. These fur-covered humanoids with the body of a bipedal human and the head of a canine are the product of pre-Rifts technology unearthed, reinstated, and improved upon by Coalition scientists, because Coalition scientists get shit done. That's what happens. The dogs have proven to be ferociously loyal to their creators and dedicated to defending and protecting humankind. Okay, if you're gonna make an animal-human hybrid, you don't want Planet of the Apes to happen, all right? You don't need that. You don't need them turning on you. Dogs are the way to go. The Emperor just hit a hole in one on this one.
So did dog boys not exist before Lone Star?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they were part of the core game.
Dog boys were created from the research and the facilities in the Lone Star complex.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna make a human companion, you model it off of the greatest human companion in history, the dog.
Cows.
For over 15,000, what's that?
Cows.
No. For over 15,000 years, dogs have been companions to humans, and that is burned into their DNA at this point, which means you add a little human in there, you have the most loyal human with dog powers you could possibly ever imagine. And that's what happened. It was great. It was the decision of a lifetime. Absolutely wonderful. And the dog boy has been a staple. I just told you why mutant dog has been a staple in the coalition ever since. Look at this. Look at this. The only mutant animal I approve of. The only one. The science of creating dog boys has become an art executed to perfection with total success 99.6% of the time. You can barely get an appendectomy or a tonsil removal that's around 99.6% total success. You can't do it. But making a dog boy, it's like going to the store. It's great. I love it. Best of all, they are extremely loyal to humans in general. 97.4% of the time, they will choose loyalty to humans. And
what do they do the other times?
The other times they attack you and are put down like dogs. Dog boys can either be created and grown in this lab, which they were initially, or through mating, which they are done a lot now because mating is more cost effective, if not time.
I guess if you're a dog boy, that's not gross, but to me, that's gross.
Yeah, it's fair. And yeah, oh yeah, here's it's sideways. Dang it. Can't change it. Can't change your orientation. That sucks. But just turn your head this way, that way, and you'll be able to see how a dog boy is grown. See the little pups. This looks like a rat though. I don't like that too much. That's oh, here we go. And here is the breeding facility. Now it's very important to note dog boys are not, or dog girls are not allowed to raise their own pups. They are taken to a CS breeding center where they are raised by people who are trained in raising these pups. You know, you don't, just because you can be a parent doesn't mean you get to be a parent. No, 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 no. You have your litter. That's great. Good job. And now we take them and take them to somebody who's qualified to raise them to be productive parts of the great coalition society, which just makes sense. Absolutely makes sense.
Ever since you started talking about dog boys, I've been double fisting cats over here.
Well, that, I don't know, you're trying to insult the dog boy. All right, most common breeds. That each breed has its own special tweak, perk, power, whatever you want to call it. They're either better at sight, better smell, better trackers, sense supernatural beings better, stuff like that. Each breed has its own quirk, but all of them are super useful and are your best friend. Average lifespan 32 to 45 years. That's still really good. Really
I mean,
good.
that's well more than a normal dog's, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh, almost a factor. It depends on the size of the dog, but yeah. And what else we got? The nurseries and training program. We're not going to get into all that right now, but we will in the next video when we get into the new RCCs, which are dog boy and mutant animal variants. So let's look at some chat right
before we do that, I mean, were there vehicles in here or anything, or was it just the science?
It's the Lone Star facility was a military facility, to be sure, and it had facilities to fabricate mechs and stuff like that, but it wasn't anywhere near, working. I mean, it was 99% complete, but it wasn't complete yet. So they didn't have anything on standby. They had raw materials, they had all of the designs, they had the ability to make them, but they just hadn't done it yet. They hadn't flipped the switch.
Okay, so the dog boys was the main thing that came out of this.
Yes, the main thing that came out of here, but it is another facility to make Samus vehicles, all the flying Death's Head armor vehicles, so they had that.
So Dorothea says, I've always liked the look of the Zidistic killer on the cover.
Exotics killer, yes. You're gonna like this, Max, because the CS is helping to liberate your homeland using genetic engineering.
Okay.
And that's an RCC we're gonna get to in the next video.
Sweet. Walter MC says dog boys are in the OG Rifts book. This is just the origin. Okay.
Yes, your generic dog boy is in the original Rifts book from 92, 94, whatever it was. But this gives you more variants, and it gives the variants flavor. Nothing here for the dog boy variants are overpowered in any way. It's more just tweaks, quirks, perks, stuff like that. Nothing that changes what a dog boy is or what a dog boy does.
Right. For some reason, Crafty's getting defenses. I swear, if you hear the hurt the doggo boys, it's gonna be problems.
Yep. And you know what? The really cool thing, all CS dog boy handlers who are leaders of the dog boy pack, they are fiercely protective of his or her dogs. Fiercely. If one of them dies, he feels it just as if he was a pet.
And then the last one, get off my keyboard. This feels like clones in Star Wars, just more disturbing.
Okay. It's nice you said that, because the genetics facility also had cloning facilities in it, because obviously you need to splice the genes and then mass produce this life form that you created. You're going to need cloning facilities. Well, to do that, you need generic cloning facilities, which means you could clone people too.
All right, that was all that I started. Thank you.
All right. Next time we will be going over the new RCCs, and we'll be looking at dog boy variants and different mutant animal variants, which will get Max Liao just all hot and bothered.
Woo!
And that's it.